Hi everyone, and welcome to this CIS 098-6 Cyber Defense session on Intrusion Prevention Systems. Throughout this session, we're going to look at what intrusion prevention systems are, the components that can make up intrusion prevention systems, and how they can be utilized in order to protect systems against threat actors and threats. An intrusion prevention system is an automated network security device which we can use to monitor and respond to potential threats. It's very similar to an intrusion detection system, which we'll look at later, and it determines possible threats by examining network traffic. Because an exploit may be carried out very quickly after an attacker gains access, the intrusion prevention system could administer an automated response to that threat. Intrusion prevention systems are based on rules that are established by the network administrator in an organization. The main function of an intrusion protection system is to identify suspicious activity, to be able to log that information in system logs, to attempt to block the activity, and finally to report it. A lot of this is automated because, as we talked about earlier, once an attacker gains access, things can happen very quickly, so it's important they take things on our behalf. We saw earlier that an intrusion prevention system gains information and makes decisions, but what is included in an intrusion prevention system? Well, an IPS can include firewalls, antivirus software, anti-spoofing software, and in addition, organizations can use the intrusion prevention system for other purposes, for example, identifying problems with their own security policy. So, exactly how does an intrusion prevention system or IPS work? It works by actively scanning towards network traffic and forwarded network traffic, and it looks for malicious activities and known attack patterns. There is an IPS engine that analyzes the network traffic and continually compares the bit stream of traffic and packets with its internal signature databases in order to determine any anomalies. So you might be asking the question, exactly what does an intrusion protection system actually do? Well, as we've seen earlier, it scans packets and identifies anomalies. The IPS might drop a packet determined to be malicious, and follow-up actions might be, for example, to block all future traffic from the same IP address or port, and then that will allow legitimate traffic to continue without any perceived disruption in service, an important aspect within an organization. Blocking network traffic isn't that complex. In fact, intrusion prevention systems can also perform much more complicated observation and analysis, such as watching and reacting to suspicious traffic patterns or packets. Some of the mechanisms it uses to do this can be address matching, HTTP string end and substring matching, generic pattern matching, TCP connection analysis, packet anomaly detection, traffic anomaly detection, and TCP UDP port matching. So we've mentioned that pattern matching takes place and that the intrusion prevention system can be proactive. But how does it work? So an intrusion prevention system will typically record information related to observed events, typically notifying security administrators and producing reports. To help secure our network, an intrusion prevention system can automatically receive prevention and security updates in order to continuously monitor and block emerging internet threats. Countermeasures are an important part of intrusion prevention systems. Many intrusion prevention systems can also respond to detected threats by actively preventing that attack from succeeding. In order to do this, they use several response techniques. For example, changing the security environment, changing the attacker's content, sending automated alarms to systems, dropping detected malicious packets, resetting a connection, or blocking traffic from an offending IP address. So we've previously mentioned a number of countermeasures, one of which was to change the security environment. So what exactly would that involve? Well, for example, it could involve configuring a firewall to increase protections against previously unknown vulnerabilities so that we learn, detect, and protect our system moving forwards. Another countermeasure that we discussed was changing the attack's content, and this could be, for example, by replacing otherwise malicious parts of an email, for example, false links, with warnings about deleted content. And this is commonly used countermeasure within emails, for example, phishing or attachments. Networks and organizations are busy places, so automated alarms are a countermeasure that can be used to send information to systems administrators that are notifying them of possible security breaches so that they can take proactive measures in order to prevent the attack from causing serious damage. Intrusion prevention systems come in a number of different types and sizes. Network-based intrusion prevention systems analyze protocol activity across the entire network, whereas wireless intrusion prevention systems analyze network protocol activity across wireless connections. Host-based intrusion prevention systems provide a secondary software package that allows a single host and follows that single host for malicious activity. And finally, network behavior analysis is our final. IPSs use a number of different detection methods to help us protect our networks. One of them is signature-based detection, much like of antivirus software, whereby packets in the networks are compared against a predetermined attack pattern, and they're known as a signature. Statistical anomaly-based detection will look at the network traffic, look at patterns, identify anomalies, things that are not normal, and finally, stateful protocol analysis detection is much more complicated. We've mentioned very briefly the content and context of a stateful protocol analysis detection. And this method identifies a protocol that looks for deviations by comparing observed events with some predetermined activity. And as we see here, the system learns, it gains intelligence, and as it goes along, it becomes much better at detecting known attacks, and it can feed forward when it detects new and unknown things. In this bite-sized session, we've taken a look at a number of important aspects relating to intrusion prevention systems. And intrusion prevention systems are an important part in the armory of cyber defense. They allow us to detect attacks, to understand potential attacks, to learn to use intelligence, and to take that forward to make sure that our systems are protected against known and also proactive events.